Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Wednesday, and tonight was a double dose of wrestling content as we had both NXT 2300 and AEW Dynamite. Now, we will be reviewing both shows. We're going to go over AEW Dynamite first, and then we're going to do NXT 2300. As far as both shows do go, though, I thought both shows are pretty good. I did enjoy both shows. I'll preface here. The notes I'm going to read are my notes for Dynamite. I had a friend take my notes for NXT, so if I fumble a little bit through them, that's why, because they're not my notes and whatnot. But I did watch both shows, had them both on the screen over here, doubled up. And yeah, if I'm going to say, because I know I'm going to get the question, so I'm going to just say it now. If I'm going to say what I thought was better, I might say NXT, but it could have just been the nostalgia factor. We saw Nunzio. We saw Rhino, the Dudley Boys. We had Francine, Don Marie. So like that right there could have been a little bit of nostalgia for me and why I was like, oh, this show is cool. This show is great. Not saying Dynamite was bad, because I thought Dynamite was pretty good. There's a couple things on Dynamite where I'm like, what? Huh? But other than that, and both shows kind of had that. So, but overall, I thought both shows were really good. I enjoyed both shows. Dynamite, off and on crowd, I will say. The crowd did feel off and on tonight. The NXT crowd was hot throughout the entire thing. So that was really good. I don't know. Let me look at my notes here, because I did write this down from WrestleVotes. 2,647 people were at, well, that's how many tickets were distributed for AEW. I don't have a number for NXT other than it was sold out, but we don't know what sold out is. So that I'm not sure of as far as how many people were at the NXT show compared to the Dynamite show tonight. Because again, the crowd felt better. They were hot and up for the entire NXT show, but there were times like Adam Cole made his way out to the ring and it's like, it's all about the boom, but it really felt like it's all about the boom. Like instead of that boom, it was more like a boom, like half of the crowd was doing it. So I don't know. Very weird, very odd. But regardless of all of that, two really good shows we're going to get to talking about. And I want to say before all that, thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can help us out over on YouTube by hitting that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. Also, remember that you can support the channel by becoming a channel member and hitting that join button. Hit the join button if you can, and do so, even if it's just at the $1 tier. We got the $1 tier, the $5 tier. Greatly appreciated to keep everything going and funding new content. Whether you're doing it here on YouTube or patreon.com/PWU Unlimited. And another way to support the channel and get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air is by donating a super chat in the live chat. Remember, like I talked about yesterday during our Election Mania stream, got a bunch of ideas on things I want to do. We need to get these projects funded, and the best ways to help with that is either becoming a channel member or donating a super chat or a super sticker. And finally, remember to head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PWU Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Right now, they are doing their Epic Savings till November 18th with up to 75% off certain games and so forth. Maybe you want to go over there and wish list TMNT Spirited Fate or Splintered Fate. Maybe you're getting into Apex Legends and you're buying some packs. Or you want to get some new skins for Fortnite because they got that new Fortnite season. They got Eminem. They got Snoop Dogg. John Wick is back. You might want to go over there. Use this code PWUNLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. Remember, you do it on Fortnite, you go to the store, go to the store page, scroll all the way to the bottom, you click create a code, or no, it says, do you have a creator code? I think is what it is. And you put in our code, PWUNLIMITED. Well, that's on your PlayStation, your Xbox, your Nintendo Switch, or your PC. But with all of that, Big Wrestling Fan says, Tim, you lie. No NXT Women's War Games announcement for Survivor Series. Big Wrestling Fan, no, you didn't listen to the video properly. So, yesterday we put out a video that NXT is reportedly going to have some sort of a presence at Survivor Series. Now, this news does come from Brian Alvarez on yesterday's Wrestling Observer Live. Then I go on to tell you what Alvarez predicted he thinks NXT could do at Survivor Series. Not me, what he said on his show. That he thought maybe they do Women's War Games with NXT women. So, for you to say that I lied, for you to say that I was wrong, no. I didn't lie, and I'm not wrong. And Alvarez isn't technically wrong yet. Nobody said, Alvarez didn't say, I didn't say that was going to get announced tonight. That was going to get announced at the NXT 2300 show. I stated what Alvarez stated, that maybe something happens in the 10-woman tag. Maybe. No one said for sure. Prediction, fantasy booking. So that's the thing there. So to say that I was wrong and I lied, no. It's called somebody else reported it. I aggregated and brought it to you, and there you go. Also, he says one problem about the NXT show tonight: crowd mute getting ridiculous. That they can't help that. If the crowd's gonna curse and swear on network television, you got to mute it, especially on the network television, Fox, CW, and so forth. You have to mute it, or there's a good chance the FCC finds the network. So that's just the thing. We got to get used to it. It happened a lot tonight because of the crowd that was there, the ECW crowd. So, yeah, I get it. It's not great, but it's what you got to live with in this day and age. So next time, don't report fake news. It's not fake news. It's called fantasy booking. It's called, man, sorry to say this, but are you dumb? You don't know how this job works? How this stuff works? How reporting works? You get info, you report it. No one said it's fake news. How many weeks are there till Survivor Series? This weekend? Not this weekend, not next weekend, not the following weekend. 4 more weekends till Survivor Series. Potentially set up something for NXT. That was the report. NXT is going to have a presence, reportedly, at Survivor Series. NXT may have a presence. Then we went into fantasy booking, predicting what we think could happen. Not, this is 100% set in stone. I'm saying it now. Word. Fact. No. It's not what it was. So maybe you may need to go back, rewatch the video. So, there we go. We also had some news tonight that came from Fightful that we reported about Malakai Black's contract maybe being up in maybe the next 6 months or so, if not less. Later this year, late end of the year, early next year. We'll have to wait and see. But with all that, also this podcast is brought to you by Orframes. But we'll talk about more of that a little bit later. We do have some bit donations from Esports Gaming Rules. I really enjoy the NXT event at the 2300 Arena, ECW Arena. It got that old school feel and Philly crowd feel. And are the AEW version of the Hurt Business baby faces or really heels? Because social media want you to think Hurt Business are baby faces. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I think they're heels, but that's just my opinion. But I'm honestly not 100% sure if they're heels or baby faces. Also says people are leaving Twitter X for this Blue Sky thing. I don't want to leave Twitter X. I tried Blue Sky. So I've heard of a couple of people that tried Blue Sky and said, yeah, no. If you're really going to leave, go to Threads. So that's the thing. If you're really going to leave Twitter, go to Threads. There's some people that I know that tried Blue Sky. Was like, no. But with all of that, as far as AEW Dynamite does go, Dynamite comes on the air. Excalibur welcomes us along. Nigel McGuinness He throws it to Tony Schiavone in the ring, who brings out the Hurt Syndicate. And this segment was just kind of there. It was there just to tell us, hey, we're getting Swerve and Bobby at Full Gear. But at the same time, it's like, are they trying to be the BCC, the Death Riders, whatever you want to call them? Because MVP basically cut a, you're either with us or against us promo. And ain't that what Mox is doing? We're trying to save AEW, so you're either with us or against us. Like, what's the what? Okay. Anyways, MVP says, my name is Montel Vontavious Porter, but you already know me as, and the crowd goes, MVP. He really hyped himself up and built himself up here. He's then introduces Shelton Benjamin, runs down his resume, got a strong ovation for that. Lashley was next, got a huge pop. MVP brought up handing out Hurt Syndicate business cards and saying, if you accept, it'll change your life. If you reject us, though, well, this is what's going to happen to you. And then they showed Swerve being attacked last week and putting the, I guess, full Nelson, because they're not calling it the Hurt Lock, by Bobby Lashley. Swerve and Prince Nana then came out on the stage and had to be, quote, held back by officials so they didn't run down and attack. Strickland then had a steel chain in his hand looking for a fight. Strickland then yells at Lashley for a match at Full Gear. MVP accepts. Lashley, never taking his sunglasses off, just stared down, or up, I guess you would say, at Swerve. I have a couple of qualms with this. Now, the last two big feuds we've seen for Swerve have really been fleshed out pretty well. We had the Danielson one where he's like, I'm going to end Danielson's career. You're not taking my title, this, that, and so forth. And then he ended up losing. Then we had the Swerve storyline. I mean, not the Swerve, the Hangman storyline that has been built up for months and months, back months and months, a year or whatever. And both of those were really good and fleshed out, stakes and this and that. But it's like the MVP Hurt Syndicate Bobby Lashley feud here and the whole Bobby thing. It's like, I don't see stakes and I don't see reasons really for Swerve to be that mad yet. Like, yeah, granted, he had the match with Shelton last week and then Bobby attacked him afterwards. Cool, you can get mad at that. But it's like their whole beef is not even with MVP. I feel like their beef is more with they don't like Prince Nana and think that Swerve, and I said MVP, I meant Swerve. Their beef is with MVP or with Swerve. I feel like that they think Swerve would be better with them. They can help elevate Swerve back to that top tier status better than Nana. So they don't want Swerve with Nana. That's my thing. And it's like, okay, so why is Swerve so pissed? Why has he got the chain, want to beat their asses? Like, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, we got time. Hopefully they build this up a little better. You be wrong there, Weeback. You be wrong there. Just gonna say it. So we had our first match of the night. It was Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin. It's Claudio Castagnoli and Pac, and it was more of the same Death Rider stuff. Because I think that's the name they're going by now, the Death Riders. We're not the BCC, we're the Death Riders. And good match while it lasted. Claudio and Pac charged up the ramp at Cassidy, who then lured them up as Allin dove off the top of the entrance tunnel and wiped everybody out. Pac and Claudio then brawled ringside as Allin piggybacked Claudio with a... Pac and Cassidy brawled ringside as Allin piggybacked Claudio with a sleeper hold down to the ring. He was driven into the barricade. The match then officially began with Claudio and Pac both getting uppercuts in and out of the ring. Cassidy sidestepped Pac at one point with the drop kick and delivered a brutal looking PK. Cassidy then momentarily distracted himself, staring down at Wheeler Yuta, giving Pac time to hit a haluva kick. Cassidy then fought off of an avalanche brainbuster, sending Pac crashing to the mat before hitting a diving DDT for a 2. Cassidy then made the save with a backbreaker aplenty, and the match kind of reset going into a commercial break. Cassidy was selling the ribs afterwards. Apparently, they roughed him up during the break. Castagnoli in the corner hit a dive. Castagnoli had him in the corner, but he finally got away and dove over to tag Allin. Crowd erupts when Darby runs in and runs wild, hitting a coffin drop from the ring to the floor on Pac before leaping into the clutches of Claudio. Allin avoided a giant swing, but Claudio launched him high in the sky and dropped him down for a 2. Claudio powered Allen into a spinning backbreaker until Pac followed this up with a German suplex and a two of his own. There's locomotion uppercuts in the corner until Pac dropped Allen with a brainbuster, followed by an avalanche variety of for a close near fall. Cassidy broke up the pin. There's a series of reversals that led to Cassidy's hot tag at this time, as he took Pac down from the corner and threw him to the other corner, head first into the buckle. There's a crossbody off the top onto Pac from Cassidy, then a stun dog millionaire into a code red that dropped Claudio. Both Allen and Cassidy then took turns hitting dives back inside the ring. Cassidy spiked Pac with a spinning DDT. This is when, Ryuta would jump in the ring, kind of cause all kinds of shit. He ate an orange punch, and Marina would then jump in and kick the referee. She literally kicked Bryce Remsburg. The ref's down. They threw him to ringside. Moxley then runs down, and he puts a choke on Cassidy. A bunch of other referees run down, and they call off the match. Ding, 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 no, we're not doing this. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, Lord, here we go. More of the same. Allen made the save with a skateboard shot to the back until Yuta jumped Allen, and they all started a brawl, beating down the baby faces. Allen managed to fight off Pac, though, for a little while. Yuta and Claudio, he also got shots with the skateboard. He then ducked a briefcase shot from Marina, Allen that is, only to run into a Claudio uppercut to knock him down. Claudio then launched Allen violently into the ring post off of a gorilla press. And then the Death Riders had a 5-on-1 advantage with Darby taken out. They took out Cassidy. Cassidy with Moxley hugging Yuta, ordering Shafir and Pac to hold Cassidy up. They then followed orders, and Yuta hit a Busaku knee. The conglomeration's music then hit. They ran down. The Death Riders ran away, and there we go. So Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Rocky Romero, and Tomohiro Ishii ran down to save Orange Cassidy. And then the heels run off. That's it. Again, just more of the same. More of the same. Ripper gets backstage with Ricochet, asking, who's your mystery partner going to be in the main event tonight? Where I thought his Death Riders Orange Darby match would be the main event, especially the way they were promoting it with the graphics and stuff. But nope, it was this match, and I guess it makes sense. Because we had the return of Hobbs, we had Mark Davis come out, we had Will Ospreay come out and return. So it's like, yeah, we had a lot of big things happen in that main event match with Ricochet and the Don Callis family. Ricochet said he could pick anyone in AEW. And so many people, well, they want to get their hands on the Don Callis family. They got problems with them. So right now, we'll keep it a little secret. Hurt Syndicate then approach. Ricochet said, nice to see them. While MVP just said, I want to wish you good luck. Ricochet tells them to watch him work. And MVP said, oh, we will. They hand him I think they handed him a business card. So it's like, I think they're going to get another member, if not two. It don't need to be Ricochet. Ricochet does not need to be in this group, and this group does not need another former WWE guy. They need somebody like a Max Caster or an Anthony Bowens or maybe even an Action Andretti. If they want their AEW version of Cedric Alexander, go for an Action Andretti. They're teasing him splitting off from Top Flight, so why not? Maybe a Leo Rush? So if I'm going to say they get one more person, I'm going to say, because Leo, they kind of already tried and he said no, and that Action Andretti would maybe fit. And it could help elevate him and bolster him up. So that'd be a good one. We told you Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Tomohiro Ishii all came down to the ring earlier. Well, they stayed down there for their fight without honor with Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith. It was just a straight up hardcore match. It was fun though. It was an all-out brawl from the beginning. Briscoe decked Jericho with the ROH title, while O'Reilly hit a dragon screw on Bill over the top rope. Excuse me. Jericho avoided a J Driller off the apron through a table, but not Ishii, who hit a backdrop driver on Jericho through the table. Big Bill was there to hit a big boot as Briscoe launched off of a chair over the post with a dive on the big man. O'Reilly and Keith were then left brawling on the apron before both fell off through a table together. Briscoe then set up a ladder against the barricade, but it took too long and suffered a chokeslam through by Big Bill. Complete carnage at this point as we go to a break. I just want to say thank you to, I'm going to butcher this, the franchise. I think it's the franchise. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. As we come back from the break, the Learning Tree were in control, but Briscoe and Jericho both grabbed chairs and swung it until Jericho dropped his first and ate a chair shot to the back. Frank Heath suffered the same fate, but Bill was there for the assist in a series of big boots and an impressive boss man slam on O'Reilly. Bill missed a corner charge and was lit up by all three members of the conglomeration until a high-low from Ishii and Kyle O'Reilly sent him to the outside. Jericho tried a lion tamer on Briscoe, but Ishii met him with some chops. Briscoe wanted a J-driller, but Keith made the save with a kendo stick. O'Reilly and Bill then fought to the back, leaving it basically a tag match at this point for now. The Tower of Doom spot that was turned into Briscoe hitting a powerbomb on Jericho while Ishii hit a superplex on Keith. This is kind of weird and convoluted and took a little too long to set up. Bill is shown stalking O'Reilly in the back, and then back in the arena, they set up multiple tables while O'Reilly was down. Bill wanted a huge choke slam offloading crates, but O'Reilly locked in a guillotine. Both men then fell from the crates and they crashed through the tables. Back in the ring, Briscoe charged with a ladder, but Jericho hit a drop kick into it. Briscoe ducked a chair shot and managed a J-driller, but opted to set up a ladder instead of going for the pin and a table as well. Jericho was then placed on the table as Briscoe went to the top of the ladder for a massive froggy bow, but Keith just broke up the pin at the very, very, very last second. Ishii then no-sold some lariats and flattened Keith himself, who was taken out by a diving Briscoe, leaving Ishii alone with Jericho. He then hit a sliding lariat, Ishii, that is. There's a vertical drop, a brainbuster that followed with Ishii pinning Jericho and picking up the victory. So seemingly, Ishii pinning Jericho, the ROH World Champion, would lead one to believe that Ishii should be next in line for that belt. Should be next in line to challenge Jericho for the ROH World Championship. Or should I say, first in line? As one would think it'd be Jericho's first defense. As we move forward, the Death Riders were seen leaving the arena as Moxley said, "There's just no confusion. Wheeler Yuta doesn't owe Orange Cassidy anything. Being a nice guy doesn't buy loyalty. Only a cause does. Yuta isn't Cassidy's student. He's a soldier under Moxley's command. He calls Darby Allin a disappointment. And he had higher hopes for him before shoving Yuta out of the camera shot." Moxley said, "There's a time to kill, heal, destroy, and build. It's time for those to stop playing at the things that you want people to think and take things seriously." Moxley then grabs Samir Shafir and is like, "Let's go," and they leave. I don't know what this means. There's a time to kill, heal, destroy, and build. And it's time for those to stop playing at the things they want people to do. Like, what? He's talking in freaking riddles, and I don't get it. It went whoosh. It's like, what are we doing here? You got Orange Cassidy at the pay-per-view. You're going to beat him. We all know that. Whatever. But what is the end game? What is the big end game? Esports Gaming Rules with a bit donation. I kind of don't even want to bring this up because it's a nothing story. It's a nothing thing. But he says, "Hey, I was looking on Twitter X and Vince McMahon was trending for a while. Maybe it's because Trump won the election and a possible pardon, maybe." So there's a whole big thing with if that's even possible. Because the only way you're going to pardon Vince for the Janelle Grant stuff, you can't pardon Vince. That's not a thing. But if there's a federal investigation that leads to a federal trial and Vince being indicted, then maybe Trump can pardon him and then he doesn't get in trouble with the feds and this and that. But the Janelle Grant thing, to my knowledge, there's no pardon or getting off of that because of Trump. But I did see all that trending. And it's right now, it's really a non-story. It's a nothing story. So, none to it. So next up, we had Adam Cole versus Malakai Black. These two worked very well together. They've worked together all over the world, basically. And yeah, I want to say this is the first time Adam Cole's ever beaten Malakai Black. So Talbot brings up how Cole's never beaten Black. And okay. This is the thing. So Nigel later after the match goes, Adam Cole is now 6-1. So he meant it as finally beat Black. Black's beat him 6 times. Cole's won once. Okay, I think I get that now. McGinnis said that Black's first singles match since, quote, retiring Adam Cole in the cage at Double or Nothing is here tonight. And I didn't realize that. I'm like, wow, that's crazy to think. There's a quick series of back and forth takedowns and some traded moves until Black caught a super kick and slowly paced after the injured ankle. Black opts to work the wrist before firing off an inside leg kick to force Cole to regroup outside. Black was quickly out after, but Cole battled back, wanting a heat seeker, only for Black to avoid, dive off the apron, and Cole hitting a super kick in midair to take things to a commercial break. When they returned, Cole immediately hit a fireman's carry neck breaker for a 2 before winding a Panama Sunrise, ultimately hitting it. The momentum took Black to his feet, though, and he fired off a pump knee into the reset as both men collapsed. Black did manage to crawl over for the pin, 1-2, kick out. Because he kind of fell over next to Cole and kind of rolled and crawled over. He more of fell on Cole, but kind of screwed up, whatever. Yeah. Both got up for a slugfest until Cole super kicked out the leg, but Black swept through the leg in return, going to the corner, allowing Cole to cut him off, though. Black then countered a super kick, wanting a sunset bomb, but hit another pump knee instead. Both traded super kicks until Cole hit the neck breaker on the knee, Yushiguroshi. Cole then charged at him, and Black hit the end flush, but Cole kicked out, and the crowd actually booed when he kicked out. I was like, what? Black then tried dragging Cole up, collapsing initially. It was a ruse. He caught Black with a super kick, followed by a Panama Sunrise and another super kick for another reset. Cole got up first. Black tried to get up, but instead sat with his legs crossed, telling Cole to essentially put him out of his misery. Cole hit the boom and picked up the win. Fans were kind of down for the finish because they didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to think. I was like, this is weird. Very weird. So afterwards, they get to their feet. They showed Kyle O'Reilly watching backstage, and then Adam Cole goes for the handshake, but instead, Black wants the hug, and the two embrace. Black then leaves the ring, goes to the top of the ramp, stops, and stares back down at Adam Cole for Cole talks on the mic. Now, Eiffel had a report on this. Many online thought this was like a send-off for Malakai Black, and it's like, is he done? Is he leaving? Is that it? We don't know that for sure, but what Fightful was able to find out in their report was that many believe in the company that Malakai Black's contract is up at either the end of the year or early next year. So I'm thinking within the next 6 months, his contract could expire. Now, we do not know what he wants to do. We know at one point, it was reported that he wanted to go back to WWE around like 2022. But right now, we don't know what he wants to do. There were word that Buddy Murphy wanted to go back to WWE to the point where he asked for his release, and Tony said, how about I just give you more money to stay? And Buddy Matthews, ended up signing a new deal to stay with AEW. So, with Malakai Black's contract coming up soon, potentially, the big question is, what does he do? Does he say, no, I don't want to sign a new contract, I'm going to leave, and actually leave? Or does he say, no, I don't want to sign a new contract, and Tony hands him a bag of money and says, want to stay now, and he stays? Or does it, oh, I do want to stay. We just don't know. There's 3 options here. Leave, say I'm leaving and get a big raise to stay, or just stay. That's the big question. That's the big question. Good main event, Alistair. Alistair was not in the main event tonight. Not even close. It was the second match of the night, bud. Anyway, so we'll be following that very, very closely over the next few months as far as what goes on with Malakai Black, and does he transition back to Alistair Black? Heck, if his contract is up at the end of the year or early next year, maybe even like early half of January, do we see Alistair Black return to the WWE? This is all fantasy booking and not me saying I know anything for sure, but do we see Alistair Black return in the Royal Rumble? Is that possible in Indy? Indianapolis? Just saying. Just a thought. So, big wrestling fan. Just because I said I think maybe he could come in the Rumble. Don't tell me I'm lying when it doesn't happen. It's fantasy booking. It's predictions. My prediction's wrong. My prediction's wrong. But based off of what we're hearing, early 2025, end of 2024's contract's up. Be cool if maybe he can return in the Rumble. But if it don't happen, I'm not reporting that. And I didn't report Women's War Games from NXT. It's more of a prediction and this could happen maybe. So then things get a little weird, and the storyline for this Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, MJF thing changes. Now, I was never a fan of any of this anyways. It should have just, at Full Gear, been Adam Cole and MJF. Why do we got to add Roddy in here? I don't know. It doesn't make sense, and now it really doesn't make sense. So Cole took the microphone and put Aleister Black over, Malakai Black over, saying that, he's been the best I've ever faced in my 16-year career. Crowd cheered Black loudly, and he gave a nod. Cole said that he has one more win left to get before he gets his hands on MJF, and Roddy needs 2. Cole said, but things are going to change. I had a little talk with Tony Khan, and if both I and Roddy can get 3 wins, then the match is a triple threat at Full Gear. And I said, wait, what? It's a hootie what? The whole stip was who can get 3 first. So what the hell are we doing here? That was for nothing? You announced that just to change it for nothing? Again, why is Roderick Strong even involved in any of this? Why is Roddy wanting a match with MJF? I don't get it. Cole then guaranteed MJF's getting his ass kicked, and an ass kicking of a lifetime from the Undisputed Kingdom. Basically saying he's going to make sure it's a triple threat so they can double team him. And then showed MJF from his cabin or whatever they've been showing him from. His home, I don't know. And he looked furious. He made a phone call and said, hey, I need to if you pay someone a visit. And then we learned later, he sent some dude that I'd never seen before to Don Callis, to this, that, and so forth. Yeah, I don't know. Very weird. The way all of this played out was very weird. MJF just has a handler backstage with stacks of cash all the time. I don't know. And his diamond ring? How you gonna get that guy that? Yeah. So then they talked about the Full Gear 4-Way Contender Series that's taking place on Collisions to figure out 3 teams that will challenge Private Party in a 4-way tag team title match at Full Gear. Renee McKay was backstage with Switchblade Jay White and asked him about his vile things he had to say about Hangman Page last week. Oh no, that Page had to say about him. White was running down what Page had said before Page charged in and attacked, and the two brawled into the arena. Page beat down a security guard, allowing White to grab a chair and try a home run shot, but Page tackled him into the barricade. Page then trapped White's ankle between the railing and the barricade and was about to smash it when Juice Robinson would come. Sorry, this Mountain Dew's giving me the burpees. He tried to smash the ankle before Juice Robinson can come out, or until Juice Robinson came out and make the save. White got free and brawled with Page some more into the ring. Page then escaped into the crowd, limping while doing so, still selling that leg. White then took the microphone and begged for Page to tell him what he was going to do to him at Full Gear. White said that I'm going to dismantle you at Full Gear, and we'll have fun doing it. White said that Page told him he'd leave White behind, but he's never been ahead of him, and Page's leg will be his downfall. Perhaps White will be the first to make Page tap out. There we go. It is official. It is happening. We knew that since last week. Hangman and Switchblade for the second pay-per-view in a row. Then we get just the worst thing on the show. One of, because the next thing also wasn't all that great, but at least it was better than this. Straight gets backstage with Chris Statlander. And I'm like, why are you just walking in with your bags? She got the luggage rolled cart deal. And she's like, it looks like she's just showing up like 3/4 into the show or whatever, 90 minutes into the show. I'm like, you're just fucking getting here? He then says, I'm going to get a TBS title shot against Mercedes Moné at Full Gear. I'm like, yeah, we saw that on social media. Anyways, Statlander says, I can't wait for Full Gear. I'm going to get my TBS title back. She then walks off. Renee's, I guess, going to send it back to ringside. And all of a sudden we hear, camera's cut over, and there are guardrails knocked over, and Chris Statlander is laying down in like an entranceway. All of a sudden the camera goes over to the car, and Camille's driving going, oh my God, what'd I do? And Mercedes is like, go, get out of the car and get her. Go now. And I'm like, what are we fucking doing here? So Statlander gets out of the car, and Mercedes gets out of the car. No, Camille gets out of the car. So Camille gets out of the car. Mercedes gets out of the car. Statlander then sees them, and she sees red. Goes after Camille. She goes after Mercedes, and she picks up Mercedes. She lifts her high in the sky. Camille then grabs Mercedes from Statlander, and as slow and careful as she can, sets Mercedes back down before she gets rammed into the car by Statlander. Statlander then grabs Mercedes, slams her on the hood of the car. Everybody comes out to break it all up, to pull Statlander away, and so forth. It was not good. I did not care for this at all. This was bad. Why was Camille almost looking remorseful and scared? Like, oh my God, did I hit her? What happened? Oh my God. And then Mercedes had to yell at her, go, get out of the car and get her. Like, this was not good. No way, Jose. So yeah, Christian Cage, the Patriarchy, and Hook next. Patriarchy came to the ring as Cage held up the AEW World Title contract and told the fans to shut their mouths. Cage said security were at the aisle or down the aisle, so Hook couldn't come at him. He then says that I want to officially welcome Kip Sabian to my family. Most of you thought that Kip Sabian screwed me recently by not letting me sign this contract and cash it in, but Kip knew what I didn't know. Claudio and Pac, well, they were right in the wings waiting for me to do so they can stop me. He stopped me instead before I wasted it. That's a good boy. Cage said, in the moment, Sabian did more for him than any of his other sons ever have. Lerna, just a wicked glare over at Nick Wayne. Cage said that he loved Sabian and hugged him until all of a sudden Hook's music played and we heard, he's here. It's a signal. Hook. Hook then came out on the stage. Hook said, whatever it is Cage has to say, make it good and fast, because I don't have much patience. And Christian kind of got a little real here. Cage said that Hook is a wild card with crazy eyes. He's an ass kicker. But said he needs a son, and he says he needs a son like him. Cage realized that if he was going to be his son, he needed a Taz out of the picture. And it was out of a place of love he did what he did. He took out Taz with a lead pipe to the leg, but questioned how Hook didn't know that this actually happened. He said, your dad saw me. He knew it was me. But why didn't he tell you? Why did he make you have to go get security footage to find out that it was me? Why wouldn't your dad just tell you? Cage says that Taz buckled under the pressure of the bright lights and hid behind the commentary table. He asked if that's what Hook wants to do or if he wants to be a world champion because Cage can teach him how. Cage says that no one cares that Taz is alive and wishes that he was dead. Hook then broke through the security with the Patriarchy all bailed. And the guards were left getting their asses handed to them and some choked out by Hook. Cage was then smiling at the entrance as Hook was standing tall, screaming, I want a one-on-one match. I want you. I want you. It wasn't bad, but it was weird. Like, your dad knew I'm the one that attacked you. So why'd you have to go all Batman and find out? Why'd you have to do some detective work, old Quincy Jones? Not Quincy Jones, I'm thinking of a different Jones. Oh, no, my mind just went wrong. Quincy Jones, rest in peace, though. Damn it. Now I can't. Oh. Anyways. Yeah. Weird that he's like, Taz knew it was me. But yeah. I'm thinking of, I can't remember his first name. It's a Marvel character, Detective Jones. Oh, what is his first name, though? Detective Jones. Is it Wentworth? Is it Wentworth Jones that I'm thinking of? The Marvel character. Man, no, I can't think of it. Anywho. Alex Marvez is backstage with Don Callis family and asked about his new team of Lance Archer and Brian Cage before a big man approached. Gave him a little box, looked like a ring box. Gave him an envelope and said he had a message for him. Then we hear the message. It's MJF. Hey, Don, it's the devil. Like, I need you to do something for me. I need your family to help me take care of something. There's some money. When you complete the job, there'll be another envelope full of cash for you as well. Oh, and don't get any scratches on my ring. No, I'm not thinking of Jessica Jones. It's Detective Jones from Prisoner from Cell Block H. But what I think it's Wentworth Jones that I was thinking of. Jessica Jones, great character, great Netflix show. Anywho. We then had Jamie Hayter versus Penelope Ford. Here's my question. Penelope Ford has had 2 matches since her return. She's going to wearing these big old rings. She has one big ring. Well, here's a question. I see more females than males doing this, but I don't wear jewelry, as you could tell. What is the thing of wearing the big ring on your pointer finger? I see so many people do it. Bailey wears it. Penelope Ford's always got it on. Triple H has worn it for a while. There's another WWE wrestler, Chelsea Green, always has the big ring on the pointer finger. Is there a significance to that? Is there like a meaning wearing the ring on the pointer finger and like the thicker rings too? Let me know. Let me know, chat. Let me know in the comments below. Is that like a thing? I see so many more people doing that. They wear the bigger, thicker ring on the pointer finger. See males and females, but more females than males. And Penelope Ford wearing them in the ring. She got, I think, her ring finger, her wedding ring, and that big ring. And I'm like, you best be throwing right hands, because you throw a left hand, you're going to hurt somebody. And before we get into this match, though, Esports Gaming Rules says WWE's partnership with Pro Wrestling Noah has become official in a post by Shawn Michaels. Yes, I was going to talk about that when we get into talking NXT. I don't know full details on that. I don't know if it's like a signing or they just sent him over, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But thanks for bringing that up. Esports Gaming Rules. But as far as this Jamie Hayter Penelope Ford match, Ford attacked Hayter right as she was getting in the ring, posing in the corner. She got a full mount and fired off some strikes. Ford missed a corner charge, allowing Hayter to hit a high back suplex and return the favor with some punches and bunches. Ford then fought back with her handspring elbow and a charging boot. There's a trip kick into the ropes that led to a snap drop kick by Ford for another 2 count. Ford then missed a moonsault, allowing Hayter to fly in with a dropkick and spiked Ford with a brainbuster. Hayter then tried for a lariat, but Ford did a matrix into a cutter for a nice near fall. This looked really good, actually. Hayter then fought out of a fireman's carry, and just like that, hit the Hayterade and picked up the victory. So, all that, oh, Penelope Ford's going to get her revenge because Jamie Hayter. Here's the funny thing. The whole thing was, the last match Penelope Ford had, she got hurt in it, and Jamie Hayter was her partner, and Hayter never called her to check on her. And so they bring that up during the entrances, and I think it's Nigel goes, doesn't matter, they only teamed twice. So it's like they weren't real tag team partners. They were just placed together twice. He basically saying, yeah, this storyline sucks as much we were saying it. Oh, we then got the video that we saw on Collision. Mina Shirakawa is coming back, but this time they state she's coming back next week. Because the other video we saw is just Mina Shirakawa is coming. This one told us she's coming next week. They got a video package of Kazuchika Okada. Jim Ross called him one of his favorite talents ever in wrestling. I'm like, well, okay. Said most people who are knowledgeable will have him in their top 5 of all time. Excalibur said if Okada wins the Continental Classic, he will tie Moshihiro Chono for the most tournament wins of a Japanese wrestler, bringing up his wins in the G1 Climax as well. Okada shrugged off Chono's previous G1 Climax wins and mentioned how he will win the Continental Classic this year and defend the Continental Championship. Oh, this is good, quick, and to the point. It's just, hey, I'm the Continental Champion. I'm going to be in the tournament, and I'm going to win it to keep my belt. That's the question. Are they taking, this is what we don't know. Are they taking the title from Okada and saying to get it back, you got to win the tournament? Or should it be the winner of the tournament then faces Okada? Okada doesn't have to be in the tournament. I'm confused, but apparently this tournament starts soon, so we'll figure it all out. So then we had our main event. It was Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher against Ricochet and a mystery partner. So Don Callis family come out first, and Takeshita and Fletcher are in the ring. They're waiting. Ricochet comes out, and he stops at the top of the stage. And he goes, so, y'all want to know who my mystery partner is? Well, I have to call you guys morons for allowing me to pick anybody I want in AEW. Because I learned something recently. I did the research and I looked into things. And I found out that somebody's contract expired with the Don Callis family back on October 4th. And he's really pissed because you guys seemingly just pushed him to the side and forgot about him. And then we hear Powerhouse Hobbs. And out comes Powerhouse Hobbs making his big AEW return. Loud ovation from the crowd. And him and Ricochet hit the ring. Hobbs mowed down both Takeshita and Fletcher with a shoulder tackle, as McGinnis says that it's a rare oversight by the Don Callis family for letting Hobbs' contract expire. While Excalibur said once Hobbs was injured, Callis had no use for him and no longer wanted to use him, so that's why he got Lance Archer and Brian Cage to replace him. Great little, commentary, putting the seeds in there and feeding us the info that we should have known, but it's still like, hey, he got hurt. They said, screw you. And they got other big men. So Takeshita started no-selling Ricochet's chops at ringside and flattened him with the forearm. Hobbs then dropped Fletcher before stalking Takeshita. Ricochet stood on the shoulders of Hobbs and did a moonsault off of him to the floor onto both Takeshita and Fletcher for a huge pop. There's a delayed vertical suplex from Hobbs onto Fletcher before tagging in Ricochet. Momentary distraction from Takeshita allowed Fletcher to hit a draping DDT through the ropes to gain control. There's a stereo big boot as Ricochet was isolated through the break. They then showed Adam Cole watching backstage and told us, hey, next week, Cole will be taking on Takeshita in his final hurdle to get to Full Gear and MJF. There's a hot tag from Hobbs, who ran wild with a lariat on Fletcher and a snap power slam on Takeshita. Meat chants then rang through the building as Hobbs hit an avalanche tour of the islands kind of move. And then Fletcher broke the pin attempt, causing Hobbs to chuck him from the ring. Hobbs lowered the straps, but the delay allowed Takeshita to fire off a forearm, which Hobbs slowly rose up from. There's a forearm exchange by Hobbs and Takeshita that led to Hobbs winning the war, but Takeshita managed a stalling German suplex. Hobbs answered with a wild lariat to a double down, and then they really just started going back and forth. Ricochet and Fletcher then tagged in, and it picked up the speed, with Fletcher hitting a big boot, but missing a corner charge. Ricochet tried to springboard crossbody, but was caught by Fletcher, who turned it into a sit-out Liger bomb for a 2. At one point, Ricochet countered a Hurricane Rana in midair. Ricochet wanted to go for a 450 on Takeshita, but missed and rolled through, but Takeshita hit a pump knee. A head scissors into an attempted gut-wrench German, but Ricochet landed on his feet and tried to go for a poison Rana, but Takeshita held on, and Fletcher flew in with a Doomsday device for a 2. Ricochet avoided a power knee drive, but Takeshita hit a thrust kick as Fletcher was steamrolled on the outside by Hobbs. Takeshita wanted a home run lariat on Ricochet, but Hobbs just shoved him out of the way and took the bullet. Ricochet then flew off the top of the Hurricane Rana. Takeshita initially caught him, but Ricochet snapped through it and tried to go for a pin, but only got a 2. There's a shooting star press that connected for another 2, but the spear gun, as he's calling it, his charging lariat, his version of like the hidden blade, then got the job done, and Ricochet picked up the victory. So a really good match. I thought these four worked really well together, building a bunch of things. I think we're going to get Ricochet and Takeshita for the International Championship at the pay-per-view, and then I think Fletcher faces Ospreay. So post-match, got a couple of things here. Fletcher grabs a chair and smacks Hobbs off the apron. Gets him in the back of the leg. Followed by one to the back of Ricochet. Fletcher then wanted to go for the Tiger Driver on Ricochet, but Mark Davis marched down to the ring and made the save, telling him, we don't need to be like this. You don't need to do this. Fletcher, though, would shove Davis and knock him down. This is when Lance Archer and Brian Cage would hit the ring and attack Davis, laying him out, with Fletcher watching on. Adam Cole then tried to run down, but he was stopped by Takeshita in the aisleway, and then the two brawled. Fletcher then went and grabbed a chair and put it on to Mark Davis to put him out of commission when Will Ospreay's music would hit. Everybody just went, paused. Will Ospreay came out and ran down to the ring. He charged at Fletcher with a double leg and started beating his ass. Cage and Archer saved Fletcher initially, but Hobbs, Davis, and Ricochet all recovered and made the save. Fletcher almost ate a hidden blade, but bailed before Ospreay could hit it. Ospreay, Hobbs, Ricochet, and Davis then stared down the Don Callis family as the show ended. There's 4-on-4. We know Mark Davis is cleared. There's 4-on-4. Just don't know when. Maybe next week, maybe the week after, but it looks like maybe some sort of an 8-man tag is coming. With that was AEW Dynamite. Let's get the poll going here on Twitch really fast. What did you think of Dynamite? Liked it. It was all right. Didn't like it. While that poll goes, we'll check the other polls as well. Refresh. Threads poll and the community poll. So as far as the Threads poll does go, 67% like the show, 33% thought it was just all right. Looking at the Twitter poll, interesting. 57% liked the show, 33% didn't like the show, and 9% thought it was just all right. Some of the comments here says I didn't like it, and this person says, oh, I think this is just a joke. No, this is just a joke comment. As far as the community poll does go, 65% liked the show, 22% thought it was just all right, and 13% didn't like it. Question. Did they officially finally move Family Guy to a Wednesdays? Because I knew they were going to. Did that start tonight? Hold on. Because I've gotten a couple comments of, I watched Family Guy instead. I know they were going to move it to Wednesdays. Did it eventually move, though? They knew it was moving from Sundays to Wednesdays. I don't know when. Did that happen tonight? Because if so, that's big competition. Let's see. Oh, see, that was announced 8 months ago. Yeah, see, I don't know if it was tonight or not. Let me know in the live chat if you know. I had a couple comments here. That's why I thought it was a joke comment, but I had a couple comments here that said something about what's it called? Family Guy. Fonzie, trust me, I got it. We got to do the one poll at a time, though, bud. One poll at a time, though, bud. Yeah, because this person says, what if Family Guy was on? It ends 30 minutes later of the show. I don't know exactly what that means, but I guess it was on the same time or something. I don't know. Because then we had another comment here that said, wonder if Family Guy was on Fox. Because of the comments, maybe, or the not as many people liked it. I don't know. Because this person said I didn't watch. This person watched ECW. Or ECW, ECW, NXT, NXT. Also, let me go check that poll, because we need to do a poll. What are you watching tonight? What are you watching tonight? AEW, NXT, or both? 70% said NXT, 16% said AEW, and 14% said both. And that was from the YouTube community poll. Holy crap. Only one person spammed the comments. And as far as the live poll does go, 68% liked the show. 68% liked the show. 17% didn't like it, and 14% thought it was just all right. And everybody that voted on Twitch thought it was just all right. So with that, let's get the NXT polls up really fast. We can only do one at a time, especially here on YouTube. What did you think of NXT? And while I get these polls going, remember this show is brought to you by Oriframe, so let's check them out. All right, here. Are you looking to capture and celebrate life's best moments? Meet Oriframes, the must-have smart photo frame for every home. With its sleek design and crystal clear HD display, Oriframes brings your favorite memories to life in stunning detail. Just connect your Oriframe to Wi-Fi, and with the free Oriframes app, you can instantly share photos and videos directly from your phone, no matter where you are in the world. It's perfect for sharing those precious moments with family and friends. Oriframes also comes with unlimited cloud storage, so you never have to worry about running out of space again. And with features like auto brightness adjustment and an interactive touch bar, viewing and managing your photos have never been easier. So what are you waiting for? Transform your home and keep your memories alive with Oriframes. Visit the link in the description below or head over to pwunlimited.co/Oriframes now to bring your best moments to life. All right, so remember, go get your Oriframes. Support Pro Wrestling Unlimited by doing so. Link is in the description and in the live chat. So, moving forward, we do have NXT on the CW. They were live from the 2300 arena, the NXT, or the ECW arena. And Shawn Michaels made a very interesting announcement when that show went on the air, basically. I'm going to pull the tweet up right here. I'm going to pull this tweet up here on the screen. Let me find it now. I'm not going to play the video because, you know, copyright stuff and whatnot, but we have this here. Shawn Michaels tweeted out. Let me make it a little bigger. Tweeted out, I'm excited to welcome Noah GHC wrestler, Noah Yoshiki, a WWE NXT. This hard-hitting young man is going to be a problem for anyone who steps in the ring with him. I look forward to growing NXT's partnership with Noah Global in the future. So it sounds like this man is on excursion in NXT. Because in Japan, what they do is you start out as a young boy. And when you graduate from a young boy, you leave and you go work somewhere else to get experience. With New Japan, they used to do that with TNA, CMLL. And so it looks like maybe Noah has sent Yoshiki NXT for his excursion. Now in this video, we see him training with Josh Briggs, and Josh Briggs is like, man, I've never been in the ring with someone that hits me as hard as this guy. So it'll be interesting to see how this all does play out eventually. As we move forward, as far as NXT does go, show the crowd. Someone dressed like Hat Guy, and his seat is nearly in the same spot, which is crazy. And the show was opening with a hardcore match. It is Jada Parker versus Lola Vice with Dawn Marie as the referee. Great to see freaking Dawn Marie back, especially after I never thought this would happen. She sued the damn company. I think it was sexual harassment. Anyways, as far as the match does go, There's some metal folding chairs used early and often. There was a spinning back fist into the chair. Chairs wedged between the ropes. Chairs scattered in the ring. And also chair shots, of course, aplenty. Lola Vice tries to get the table out from under the ring, but Parker shoves the table back under the ring. Double clothesline spot on the floor and a double down as the show cuts to its first commercial break. When the show returns, ladders, trash cans, kendo sticks, all in the ring. Or should I say, Singapore canes for ECW. Where was I? So Vice is put on a ladder. Well, this spot. Vice is put on a ladder bridge on the ropes, and the ladder almost kind of falls over because it wasn't perfectly placed. Then Jada Parker puts a ladder next to this ladder that Lola Vice is sitting on, and she climbs up the ladder. She looks around and goes, I can go up one more. She goes up one more higher. She then jumps off the ladder, butt first down on Lola Vice. The ladder that Lola Vice is on breaks in half. Lola Vice takes just a nasty looking bump. She's all crumbled up. Oh, that looked like it hurt. I think they call it her teardrop from Jada Parker. She goes for the pin. Lola Vice does kick out. Vice then fights back and tries to apply a choke. Yet Parker is able to escape. They took turns hitting each other with stuff like canes and trash cans and whatnot, putting trash cans over each other and doing stuff. Big bumps aplenty. At one point, Lola Vice put the trash can over Jada Parker and then was just kicking her and hitting the trash can. I'm like, oh, that's gotta suck to take because you can't brace for those kicks and then the trash can and you can't see where they're coming from. And you just gotta take it and don't know, is it coming from my left? Is it coming from my right? In front of me? Behind me? I don't know. Ow! They're ready to go home in this match. Vice has Parker trapped in a chokehold. Parker is able to pick up a gimmicked brick and smack her in the face with it. Literally, Lola Vice got her in a rear naked choke. And they're all kind of over into the corner area. And like, she's going like this, trying to grab Jada Parker that is this brick. And she kind of like slides it next to her. They're kind of up against the ropes here. And she's got her in this chokehold. And every couple of moments here, every like second or so, you see Jada Parker kind of lose it, but then kind of like regain. And then lose it and regain. Eventually, she grabs this brick and goes, boom! And just hits Lola Vice like right here. And Lola Vice just goes limp. She just... and just sitting there for a second. But, of course, she kicks out. Parker goes for the pin after hitting her in the face with the frickin' brick. And Lola Vice kicks out. So, Parker gets to her feet so she can run the ropes. And then she runs it and runs it and runs it and runs it and eventually delivers a hip attack, finisher, and pins Lola Vice to pick up the victory. So there we go. Jada Parker, Miss Parker, as Booker likes to call her, Miss Parker, picks up the victory over Lola Vice. See Rich Holland, Ethan Page in the back. They talk about, we're here in Philadelphia, the birthplace of America. So it's kind of interesting that a British man and a Canadian are here to take down your American heroes. They're backstage and we see Kalani Jordan. She's sitting there. She's all stretched out. Her legs are all stretched out. She's praying. She's doing the RVD warm up. And then we see, well, she's there with RVD. So they talk for a second. Eventually jumps down and RVD's like, you got a lot of potential. You know what you need to do? You're getting your rematch against Fallon Henley next week. So what you need to do to really prove yourself, pin Fallon tonight. She goes, you know what? I like that idea, RVD. Also, Ava's office is over there. You said you wanted to talk to her. He's like, oh, yeah. And so she walks off. And all of a sudden, RVD's like looking around for a second. And then the camera guy gets knocked over. And then we see commotion going on. Boom, boom, boom. We hear a chair shot. And then we kind of see Wes Lee. The camera guy gets back up. And boom, Wes Lee's there. He had attacked RVD. So, yeah. RVD never, I guess, got to go talk to Ava. Adriana Rizzo against Nikita Lyons in a singles match is official for next week. As you know, Lyons attacked Rizzo a couple weeks ago. So this was first announced in the Nunzio Loguido skit. Tony Mamaluke was there as well. They met up with Tony D'Angelo and the family. Nunzio is apparently now a gangsta from Philly. a little silly, and they actually just set up. He wants a shot at the North American Championship against Tony D. But hey, fun little way to get the FBI on the show. So then we get Javon Evans versus Wes Lee. And they gave Javon a freaking win. When's the last time Javon Evans got a win? Javon Evans cage match. When was the last time Javon actually got, especially a singles match win? Javon Evans hasn't won a match since on TV because he's won a couple of live events. Live event. Here we go. He beat Joe Coffey on September 3rd. I guess it's been a month. No, 2 months. 2 months since he actually picked up a victory on television. And then even before that, it had been July 16th. So it's like he gets one win every 2 months or so. So the match goes through a commercial break. Not much happened really before the match. The show cuts to a commercial break after Lee dropped Evans with a brainbuster on the steel steps. We come back and they're brawling in more high spots. They also told us when this match started, we just got word from Ava that we're here in the House of Hardcore, so the referees are told be a little lenient. But how lenient and how forgiving with things the referee's actually going to be. And they played up to that tonight in this match. So Evans does his double springboard into a cutter. Lee rolls to the outside, so Evans can't make the cover. Evans then sails through the ropes with the top tope suicida, sends them crashing over the announce desk. Literally, he dives through the ropes at Wes Lee. Wes Lee kind of sidesteps and pushes him, and he lawn darts himself over the announce table into the barricade, knocks Vic's microphone cable out, I think, for a minute, headset cable, because Booker's all talking. And he's like, yeah, you know Vic, and this, and Vic's just like, what, Booker? Booker, I'm here. Can you hear me? He's like, I got you, Vic. And Booker just keeps on going. Booker just keeps on talking. He's like, I got you, Vic. I hear you. I'm like, Vic, or Booker. He's a pro. Booker's a pro. So where was I? Lee gets a chair and goes to hit Evans with it. But the referee takes it away. So Wes Lee gets this chair. And he slides in the ring, and they're like, hey, we said the refs can be lenient, but how lenient will they be? So he props it back. Referee grabs it. He gets all mad. Ref takes it. And then moments later, one of a kind. RVD comes out. RVD comes out. And Lee confronts RVD. Tries to hit him with a steel chair, but RVD ducks. And instead, Wes Lee hits the ring post. Javon Evans then hits a huge dive over the top onto Wes Lee on the outside. They roll back into the ring. Lee then hits a flying cutter. Evans hits a flying cutter. RVD cheers him on. Yeah, you got this. He then hits a huge frog splash that he barely gets to because Wes Lee was literally on the other side of the ring. Literally. Here's your ring. Trying to make a square. Freaking Javon Evans jumps from over here all the way to over here. Barely hits a 5-star frog splash style move. Literally with the hit and the pop up like RVD does it perfect. It was great. Almost. And then he goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Javon Evans beats Wes Lee. Javon Evans beats Wes Lee. Really good match. They tell us Ava's got a big announcement. She's coming out next. So Ava, Stevie Turner, and Robert Stone are all backstage walking towards the ring when Eddie Thorpe walks up. He's like, hey, excuse me. Can we talk? She's like, I'd like to, Eddie, but I got to get to the ring. I got a big announcement. He goes, this is the second time now. You're just pushing me aside. And she's like, I get it. I understand. I know you're upset. But it's kind of, allotted. I got this time. I got to go make this announcement. She's like, we'll talk. We'll talk soon, though. She's like, I got you. And he's like, yeah, okay. Sure. And they all three walk off. So after the commercial break, Ava and company are in the ring. The crowd's not too hyped about this as Ava announces our next NXT PLE will be WWE Deadline. And the crowd kind of boos. She said, from Minneapolis, Minnesota, And this will be the return of the Iron Survivor Challenge. And the crowd boos again. Then Robert Stone really makes himself a little heel to get booed. Robert Stone cuts a promo on the Philly fans saying New York is better. And then the lights go out. And when the lights come back, Rhino is in the corner. So Mr. Stone's looking this way. But Rhino's behind him. Ready, ready, ready. Mr. Stone then turns around and boom! Gore, gore, gore. The crowd pops. Huge. New TNA Hall of Famer Rhino takes out old Mr. Stone for saying New York is better than Philly. I thought this was cool. Another little nostalgia pop. So let me move on. Ridge Holland, Ethan Page, Trick Williams, and Bubba Ray Dudley. I honestly thought this was going to be the main event. It ended up being the women's 10-man tag. So, good match. Holland shoved Bubba early on. And so they squared off. Later on, Bubba cleans house after a mild hot tag, I guess you would say. The crowd was nonetheless hot for Bubba. And the heels are reeling as the show goes to commercial break. When the show returns from the break, Bubba is crotched on the ring post. Holland and Page then get the heat on Bubba as they work him over. Bubba's audibly just calling spots, just telling them, hey, this, that. At one point I hear him say the word spear. And he sets up to deliver a spear. Hot tag to Trick. He's a house of fire. All four men start to go at it as we get to the finish of the match. For the finish, Holland dodges Trick's trick knee. Holland then rolls up Trick and pins him 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you heard me right. Ridge frickin' Holland been Trick Williams, the NXT champion. Holy crapola. But after the match, Ethan Page jumps Trick from behind. Holland joins in and they team up. Page and Holland are beating down Trick when Bubba makes the save. Bubba then puts, I think it was Ridge Holland down for the was up. He tells Trick, go get on top rope and do the was up. And then he also does the get the tables and all that, really cool. And so they go to put Ethan Page through a table. All of a sudden the Dudley Boys music starts playing again. And everyone stops and like, what the hell's going on? Bubba's looking confused. Trick is looking confused. And all of a sudden, out comes Devon Dudley, table in hand. Yep. Table in hand, Devon Dudley. Devon comes down to the ring. Page then is put through the table. Devon then presents Trick with the pair of Dudley glasses. And they all pose together. So yeah, we got a Dudley Boys reunion here. Been a while since we've seen the Dudleys together. I've seen Bubba doing this thing. He was at WrestleMania. He's been working TNA. And I want to say he's done some GCW stuff maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong there. So yeah, let me see. Hold on. Bubba Ray, Bully Ray, whatever you want to call him. They called him Bubba. Bully Ray. What has he been doing recently? So he did work the Maple Leaf Pro first 2 shows. There we go. GCW. That's what it was. Oh, okay. He worked Impact like a year ago. He hasn't really worked much since then. So it's like, yeah, okay. So he worked a number of Impact matches a year ago. He did GCW back in October, about a month ago almost. And then he did the 2 Maple Leaf shows earlier this, the end of last month. So we had a quick little match. The NXT North America champion Tony D'Angelo and his family versus Nunzio and Tony Mamaluke. Nunzio looked very, very thin here. I'm like, holy crap, he lost weight. He was a very skinny guy. But it worked. Did a few big signature spots that the people would know about before getting a crowbar to use. The ref takes the crowbar for, remember, leniency, but not too much leniency. This then leads to D'Angelo hitting him with a huge-ass spine buster. Nunzio did hit at one point the Sicilian slice leg drop off the ropes, but D'Angelo hits him with that big-ass spine buster and pins him 1, 2, 3. Match, I think, goes like maybe 2 minutes. And so eventually, He helps Nunzio back up. They hug, they embrace. Tony Mama Luke hugs. The whole family's all hug, and yeah. They shake hands, and yeah. Cool. It's just a fun little thing. You got the FBI on the freaking show. And Nunzio, little Guido, got to work a match. Even if it was only like 2 minutes long. Backstage, Shawn Spears tells Brooks Jensen that he is, quote, feeling Italian next week in Orlando. Don't tell me Brooks Jensen's going to go after the damn the North American Championship. Do not. Brooks Jensen's done nothing to deserve that. Then we got a hell of a segment here. William Regal and the No Quarter Catch crew. Apparently this is a film from last week. Regal shakes hands and says, farewell, Lexus King. Regal then turns, and there's Charlie Dempsey and the No Quarter Catch crew. Regal remarks to Dempsey that King is not his father's son. And then asks Charlie Dempsey, are you your father's son? Dempsey says, well, time will tell. And then he tells them, you know, the tag team division here is really heating up. And you two, he looks at Tavion Heights, and I always forget the other guy's name. Frickin' A. Miles something, I think it is. He goes, you two should really start building yourselves up, maybe go after them tag titles. He goes, because this crew is not just his crew, and he points at Dempsey. He goes, it is all of your crew work together. So he walks off, and frickin' I want to say her real name. Oh, what is her name? Ren Sinclair goes, man, that guy is really fatherly, isn't he? Or something like that. And I was like, they want to tell you so bad that he is Charlie Dempsey's dad, but don't want to tell you he's Charlie Dempsey's dad. Which is actually pretty freaking great. So then we knew Francine was going to be on the show, but she was just shown in the crowd. And she looked great. She looked awesome. They said ECW original, the queen of hardcore. Francine is here. So we go to our main event. 10-woman tag team match. It's a TNA. Oh, no, never mind. It's TNA's Jordan Grace, Stephanie Vecker, Julia, Connie Jordan, and Zarya against the NXT Women's North American Champion Fallon Henley, the NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez, JC Jane, Jasmine Nix, and Cora Jade. So all 10 women face off in a standoff and a slugfest early on. Jordan does a moonsault off the top of the floor just before the show goes to its final commercial break. A replay shows the moonsault in slow motion as the show fades to commercial. Kind of a thing they've started doing recently since Lee Fitting took over. After returning from the break, the heat's on Jordan. She's kept away from her corner as Jordan is in peril. Finally gets a hot tag to Grace. She is a house of fire. She hits a near fall on Jade. Last Legend and Jakara Jackson are shown at ringside. Also, I didn't have it here in the notes. Remember, I didn't write these notes. I had a friend write them. But there was some segments backstage hyping up this match. They did one with the baby faces, one with the heels. And I think it was the one with the heels. No, the baby faces. That the Meta Girls did show up and kind of like talk down to them going, we on the main roster now. Blah, 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 blah. So, you see us, Crown Jewel, do our thing? Yeah. So they come out and they cause a little bit of a distraction. They're wiped out by Vacker and Julia with some dives. Everyone gets involved with the parade of high spots in the closing moments of the match. Zarya inadvertently spears Grace in the match, which was a very notable spot, I would say. Maybe that could lead to something here coming up. For the finish, though, Perez goes for the Pop Rocks, but Zarya blocks the move. Zarya then gives Perez an F5, pins her, and picks up the victory. Yes, Zarya. Now, I want to say only her second match in WWE. Let me see. Was this her second WWE match? Zarya. Yes, this is only her second WWE match. She's already pinned the champion. She's already pinned Roxanne Perez. And I say, should be in line for the NXT Women's Championship now. Now, we know we're doing the Iron Survivor, so we'll see how that all goes. If she's in that or if she gets just a title shot. So afterwards, the baby faces celebrate, hands raised, and the ECW theme plays through the building as the show goes off the air. So for what this show was supposed to be, I thought they killed it. I thought they knocked it out of the park. You're not on your normal night. So do something big, do something special, do something different. You go to a building that's got a lot of nostalgia. You bring in people that are normals for that building back in the day. You theme this whole show around ECW. You say the refs are going to be lenient. So you tease weapon moves and not use weapon moves and this and that. Otherwise, you know, the show is really, really good. Again, it could just be the nostalgia of the ECW thing, but I thought this show was a little better than Dynamite. So let's get the poll up on Twitch. You think of NXT? Liked it. It was all right. I didn't. Like it. So go over there if you're watching on Twitch and vote in the poll. So we go check the other polls. As far as what everybody thought of tonight's NXT in the ECW arena, the 2300 arena. Dang. We're seeing some of these and it's like, hoofa. In a good way. So as far as the threads poll does go, 67% liked the show, 33% didn't. Nobody disliked it, and nobody thought it was just all right. That's interesting. Looking at the Twitter poll, 88% liked the show, 11% thought it was just all right. Nobody disliked it. Looking at the community poll here, what do you think of NXT? 86% liked the show, 8% thought it was just all right, and 6% didn't like it. It says I watched both NXT and AEW. That's weird. Oh, I get what they're saying. Okay. As far as the live poll does go, 82% liked the show, 14% thought it was just all right, and 4% didn't like it. And finally, 100% of everybody that voted on Twitch liked the show. What the fuck? Elite, you think I look like Bubba Ray Dudley? You think I look like Bubba? Looks like Bubba Kid, too, without a New Yorker. I don't look anything like fucking Bubba. First off, I ain't bald. Look at this hair. Like, no. I don't look anything like Bubba at all. But with that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited. YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. And podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, guys, we'll be back live on Friday for Friday Night SmackDown. And we'll see you back then. Have a good night, guys.